Thank you very much, Jose. I'm really honored to be part of this CBA family, CBA La Paz, and also to be part of this great event. Okay, so the topic for today is developing social emotional skills on EFL learners on online courses. Can you hear me? Somebody says they can hear. Yes? Okay. Okay, thank you. Well, as you said, this is the topic of the conferences due to the many different situations we have been through. We have felt very emotional. We have been through hard times, and well, it's important to consider emotional and social skills in education as well. As Jose said, well, my name is Daniela Licoña. I am at your service. I love teaching. That's why I am here. And I'm sure you are here for the same reason. So let me start with a quotation. When you start to develop your powers of empathy and imagination, the whole world opens up to you. This quotation is by Susan Sarandon. You know, she's a Hollywood star. It called my attention because being a Hollywood star, she understood this situation that we have to take into account also in every aspect of our life. We are going to see how being how developing empathy for other people opens the world to us, okay, in many different levels. Since we will be talking a lot about social and emotional learning, we are going to call it SEL. What is SEL? It's important to know that this is that social emotional learning is the process through which children learn and function effectively in a school and life, okay? And this is not only for children. I mean, every human being, when you have the abilities that it requires, is capable of becoming successful at school, work, and life, okay? And we are going to see how. We develop social emotional skills at two different levels. There is one that is the personal level, which involves learning about your own self, okay? How to manage your emotions, how you develop your goals, and you plan how to achieve them. Also, it involves making effective decisions and dealing with success and challenges in life, okay? It also develops at a social level because we are human beings, we live in society, so it's important to understand other people as beings with emotions, goals, and plans. Okay, they also face challenges like we do, okay, every day. And it involves developing empathy and showing also compassion for others, feeling or putting ourselves on another person's shoes, okay? It involves building positive relationships. Okay, so there's something important to be aware of, and there are 5 skills that the SEL consists of. The first one is self-awareness. The second one, self-management. The third one, social awareness. Fourth, relationship skills. And the last, responsible decision-making. We are going to see what each of these skills consist of. Let's start with the first one, okay? Self-awareness. It's the recognition of your own emotions, your personal goals, and your values. It's important that we are aware of ourselves. Also, the second skill, self-management, how we regulate our own emotions and behaviors. Remember that how we feel and how we behave in society affects other people, right? So it's important to regulate these emotions. In the third skill, we have social awareness, which, well, if you look at the picture, I think it's very clear, right? There are around us, there are people that speak different languages, that have different cultural backgrounds, they have different styles, different skin color, and, well, they come from different countries. So it's important to understand and respect other people, okay, as they have their own feelings, goals, backgrounds, and we have to learn to respect, feel empathy and compassion for others. Okay, the next skill is relationship skills. As I said before, our behavior affects other people, okay? So it's important to make positive choices involving our behavior, okay? How we behave depending on where we are and who we are sharing with in order to affect positively on others. Then we have responsible decision making. This has to do with the ability to establish and maintain healthy relationships. As I said, being able to discriminate what is good and what is bad in order not to affect others negatively. And we are going to summarize the 5 skills. Self-awareness, being aware of your own self, okay? Self-management, how you control your emotions and behavior. Social awareness, being aware that people are a complete different world, okay? They have their own feelings, emotions, backgrounds, and we have to respect them and feel empathy, okay? Relationship skills, that has to do with how we interact with others, not only with others, but also with our own selves, okay? Interpersonal and intrapersonal skills. And responsible decision making, okay? There are many benefits that we can have by developing these skills on our students. You know, SEL encompasses the knowledge and skills students need in order to function in the world. We, as I said, a person is not, it is made out of feelings, emotions, needs, goals, and everything else. We have to take that into consideration as teachers because we are working with people. And, well, sometimes when we are teaching a specific subject, we tend to focus on the academic part, but it's also important to focus on the students' needs, okay? And as you see, according to a 2011 study, students whose education included SEL scored 11 points higher on academic achievement tests than those who did not. It also influences positively on the academic part, on the academic side. So that's a great benefit that we will get from developing these skills on our students. Now, there's this important question. How do we incorporate SEL in an online classroom? Well, it was a little difficult to make some space for this when we had face-to-face classes. Now it's even more difficult to incorporate this in an online classroom. Why? Because we don't have much social interaction with our students. There is not much physical contact, like giving a pat on the back or this type of thing. So it's a little difficult. And today I'm going to suggest a few tips, 7 actually, that you may use in order to make this possible. Okay. Incorporating SEL in an online classroom. It is said that we have to Maslow before we bloom. As good educators, we know the principles proposed by Maslow, in which he says that it's important to meet our students' needs before we start teaching them. Okay, what are the students' needs? Since they are human beings, they have emotional needs. The need to be loved. The need to belong, the need to be loved, accepted, okay, and respected. Those are the needs that we have to meet before we teach them, okay? And then we know and remember the principles proposed by Bloom. Well, then they will be able to create, to evaluate, and so on, right? So the first tip that I'm going to suggest is make your teaching on SEL skills explicit. Sometimes we pretend that because our students are humans, they are already born with emotions and feelings, and we pretend that they control themselves and they respect and these type of things, but we don't tell them how. So at the beginning of the course, it's important to set clear expectations for behavior. So especially if we are meeting a new group for the first time, we have to tell them what we expect from them exactly. When we assign homework, we want them to be responsible, okay? So we tell them the type of behavior that we want. When they work in groups, we want them to be respectful. Okay, or when they work individually, we want them to be responsible and so on, right? There are many things that we expect from our students, and we have to tell them. We have to show them how. That's why first day classes are very important. Also, you can have an activity in which students set clear expectations from you. What kind of behavior they expect from you. And it's important in order to get to know each other better, and you will plan your activities based on that. Classroom discussions also provide ideal opportunities for making SEL instruction explicit. Especially in a virtual classroom, we can provide different settings, we can provide different situations for them to role play and express how they feel and express their opinions, and show, of course, what is important in order to relate to others, right? When we're having discussions, the most important is to show respect, okay? Well, the second tip, teach growth mindset. Well, this is a little bit difficult, especially given our society culture and behavior. Why? Because, well, as you see in my picture here, there are two types of mindsets. One, the one that is on the right, is the fixed mindset, which is very limiting. Usually our students are programmed this way. They try to avoid challenges, they give up easily, they are threatened by other people's success, they desire to look smart, but they don't make any effort, they think it's fruitless, sometimes they ignore feedback, and they think that that their intelligence cannot develop, okay, anymore. And well, this is very frustrating for us as teachers, because how many times has it happened to you that you spend a lot of time planning a very meaningful lesson with meaningful activities, challenging ones, and when you take them to the classroom, students go like, no, teacher, right? They don't want to make any effort. So we feel frustrated. We have to show them that their intelligence can develop in different ways, that we can lead them beyond their potential. That's why the growth mindset is freedom. Okay, students persevere in the face of failures. Effort is required to build new skills. They find inspiration in other people's success. They embrace challenges. They accept criticism, okay, in order to grow. That's the most important. And they have a great desire to learn, okay. They believe that they can build their abilities. Okay? They are not programmed to do certain things. They believe that they can learn. Now, how do we teach growth mindset? It's, well, we can use different activities. I'm going to suggest two. We can design challenging activities that lead them beyond their potential. If we see that our students succeeded at using a grammar structure or certain vocabulary that we thought was a little bit hard for them to understand, we can take them to the next level, right? By using other challenging activities like grammar booster activities, or maybe this time we can have them personalize the grammar, personalize the vocabulary, and besides, they are gonna love this type of activities. Now that we are teaching English as a way of practicing listening, we can use inspirational TED Talks to motivate them and make them feel inspired. Because, if you have ever listened to these TED Talks, they are very inspirational, since people are talking about the struggles in their lives and how they succeeded. So they will work perfectly for this type of, for this teaching growth mindset. Mm-hmm. Well, the next tip is build community. As we said, it was hard before, and it's harder when we have an online environment. However, it is possible. How? We can use breakout rooms. Zoom has this incorporated. On Meet, there are also extensions. You can use them for them to work in groups, in pairs, and the most important, to socialize, to take them to get to know each other. We can create media groups. I'm really sure that most of you have WhatsApp groups with your students, but that's not the only social media that you can use. There are Facebook groups, there are Google groups that you can create, and this way you will get in touch with your students. Mm-hmm. Encourage teamwork and group work. Whenever they are working in groups, we have to tell them that each of them is important, and the group or team is going to succeed as long as all of them work together. Mm-hmm. And well, the last that is very important, to give or assign responsibilities to the class by selecting students for virtual classroom jobs. Now, what are some virtual classroom jobs that we can assign our students? I'm going to suggest a few examples. I hope you find them creative. For example, if the whole class feels like making a video, we can have a videographer, who is the person in charge of recording the video, editing, or protecting people's privacy. Okay. Then we have the scribe. You can have a student take notes of the most important lessons, of the most important things about the lesson, and then send it to the students by email or by the media group. It depends. So students can take a look and review, okay, from another person's perspective, which is important. Sometimes we need to be reminded, or we need to read about something that we didn't remember. Then there is the good vibes guru. I think it's a very important job in a virtual classroom for our students, since this person is in charge of sending good vibes through the social media or maybe in class. Whenever we learn that one of our students is going through a very hard situation, this person would motivate the others to send best regards, to send good vibes to the person that is going through the difficult situation. Also, if somebody's birthday is closer, the good vibes guru will motivate the others to make a digital card or to send a happy birthday song. We have to make a space for these things in our class. And the media manager, who is the person that besides you will be the administrator of the media group that you have. He will be in charge of selecting important content for students to read, maybe these days about the vaccines or something positive that is happening around the world. As long as we use English, I think it will be very useful. And also, this person can select some funny memes to share with the class, right, and have some good time. Okay, well, the fourth tip is to have teach coping mechanisms. Sorry, it's important that we teach our students how they can cope with their frustration, with stress, and we have to start in our class. Okay, not everything has to be learning and teaching. We can have a few minutes for recess in which we tell our students to stretch their legs or have some water, and that will be enough. Okay. Then we can have a countdown spot, which also refers to having a few minutes off. In a physical classroom, you can have a countdown corner, okay? But in an online or virtual environment, it's just a spot, okay? We can have activities that are brain breaks. Well, suppose that we have a few minutes for a tongue twister, or for listening to a song, or for having some physical activity, okay? Just by telling them, okay, guys, we've been on the computer for about 30 minutes, so stand up, now sit down again, put your hands up, put your hands down, and that's all. That will be a good brain break. It kind of helps them relax, okay? We can also teach them some breathing techniques. Just by there is one that is the box breathing, in which you ask your students to inhale and you count to 4. Okay, so for 4 seconds, they have to hold their breath for 4 seconds as well, and then they have to exhale. Okay, again, you count to 4. That's the box breathing technique. If you search on the internet, you are going to find a lot more that are also very useful and interesting, especially if you have a little more time. And then, well, students can write a journal about their day, but this doesn't have to be done like homework. And here I'm going to show you an example on how you can do this. Okay, here is a mindful reflection, which is called Share Your Rose, Thorn, and Bud. So we can ask our students to divide a piece of paper in 3. The first part is the rose, the second is the thorn, and the last one is the bud. The rose represents something in which they were successful, something positive that happened to them during the day. It's a highlight, okay? So for this, they can answer 3 questions that they have at the bottom. It says, what was a highlight today? How have you been successful? What are you most proud of? And this doesn't have to be something great, something that nobody else could do. Just by explaining that they woke up early and they could achieve all the plans that they had for that day, that will be enough, right? That will be positive enough for them to share with the class. About the thorn, well, it doesn't have to be something negative either. It's actually a challenge that they experienced during the day, okay? Something that they can use more support with. And for this, we also have 3 questions that says, what was most stressful today? Identify causes of difficulty. What made it hard to be successful? And well, as I said, it doesn't have to be something very difficult. The students can just say, I failed to wake up early this morning. I didn't listen to my alarm and I overslept and I couldn't work out, right, as I planned. So that will be enough. And about new ideas or something they are looking forward to knowing or understanding better. 3 questions as well. What are you looking forward to? Describe opportunities for learning about something that excites you, and what needs growth and nurturing. So we can have this daily, weekly, monthly. I don't know, it's up to you. When you can have different students every time. Share this, and it doesn't have to be like homework. As I said, they need to be willing to do it. Okay, tip number 5, assign self-care. This is so important. We have to teach our students to develop SMART goals. At the beginning of the course, we can tell them to set their goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable. What was the R for? I forgot what was the R for. But the T represents time bound, okay? So they have to track their goals. Are they achieving them? And there are different ways in which we can show them how they can develop SMART goals, okay? We can ask them to perform an act of kindness. Whenever we're saying goodbye, we can tell them, be kind to someone today. We have to explain to our students that whatever we give comes back to us. If we give kindness, then we're going to get kindness in exchange. And, well, the most important, to make time for themselves. Sometimes when there is no English homework, we can assign them to listen to their favorite song. Okay, so guys, today your homework is to go home, take a long bath while you listen to your favorite song. Okay, and tomorrow you'll tell me how you felt. Or maybe we can tell them, okay, today your homework is to visit someone that you love, that you haven't seen for a long time. It depends, right? There are different things we can assign them as self-care, okay? To make time for themselves and the people that they love. We also have to involve families, because learning is not a process that happens individually, right? So we have to encourage parents to reach out when they or their kids struggle with something. This doesn't mean that we have to be available 24/7 for them, okay? At the beginning, we can set specific days or times during the day in which they can reach to you, and you will be available for them, okay? It's important that parents know, especially if your students are underage, parents need to know how their kids are doing at school, and if there's something that they need to change in order to support their kids. Okay, and well, the 7th tip is to start a class by saying hello. This morning I was seeing another presentation in which one of the presenters said that we have to ask our students how they feel, and this is totally true. We have to make them feel accepted, that they are important to us, and this way we will also be important to them, and our relationship with our students is going to improve. So we can start by saying, hi guys, how are you today? It's a very beautiful day. Do you have any plans for today? And they start talking and opening up to you, and this will help you a lot. Get to them, really get to them. Don't start your class by saying, okay guys, where were we yesterday? Now open your books, let's continue with the class. Well, that will help you reach your goals probably for the class, but that will not get you closer to your students. Okay, then ask your students how they feel. It's very important. We can use emojis at the end of the class. How did you feel today? Did you like your class? How did you like the class today? And students can use emojis to express how they feel. Encourage positive behavior, self-talk, through quotes and daily affirmations. So, I know sometimes this means extra work for the teacher to be searching for positive quotes or affirmations. Well, this doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be something to read. It can be something to listen to, a song or something that students will appreciate depending on their age. Or you can assign someone to do it, okay, which is also important. This way, we are going to prepare them to feel positive during the class. And learning doesn't have to be painful or hard or rough, right? So playing games from time to time, it's also very important and rewarding. These games don't always have to be English related or subject related. It can be something just for fun, depending on, guys, you behaved really well this week. All of you were very responsible with your homework. So today we're going to play, and we have to set a limit of time, of course. We cannot spend the whole class playing, right? But that's important to make some time for this. Those were the 7 tips I wanted to suggest. Okay, so now we are going to see how strong SEL initiatives in the classroom are very important because they result in greater academic success, fewer behavioral issues, less emotional distress. Yes, because we will have some time to relax, right? Positive social behavior, yes, because our students will be able to interact with their classmates respectfully, okay, and better teacher-student relationships. As I said, using these techniques will help you get closer to your students. Less bullying, because they will feel empathy, compassion for their classmates. Improved career readiness, because the impact that the social and emotional, skills have on the academics is really great. And improved graduation rates. They will feel the need to have the class. They will be looking forward to their English class and to finish the program, right? Less teacher stress, yes, because we won't be dealing with the things that we mentioned before. And the most important, positive school climate, good relationships, not only among them, but also between teachers and students. And that is very rewarding in the end. Okay, I hope you found these tips really helpful. Thank you very much for your attention. And you can find me at my WhatsApp, that is there if you have any questions. And also that's my email address. Okay, if you ever want to write to me about anything, we can help out each other, we can learn from each other. And thank you very much once again for your attention.